Guys, I just got the best package in the mail. Today we're going to be talking about some online sourcing methods that you guys can start doing right now. All right, coffee in hand, we have the pumpkin spice creamer, my favorite. So we are really ready to get into this now. So as you guys saw, I did get a very exciting package today. One of my newest methods of sourcing is online. I know you guys had a lot of questions about this, so I did ask over on my Instagram and over on my community tab in YouTube. If you didn't know what that was, it's on my channel. Basically asking you guys questions about what you wanted to know in today's video. So I feel like a lot of us within the reseller community are really interested in online sourcing because of its benefits. Obviously, it can get shipped right to your door and you really don't have to worry about it as much as if you're going out. And especially with Q4 approaching, most of us want to be inside sourcing instead of outside looking for items. Now, I will say the majority of my business is still sourcing outside and going out for items. However, I have found that the online items can be really profitable. So in today's video, we are going to be going over a comprehensive guide to everything that you need to know about online sourcing, including tips before you buy, all of the different sourcing methods that you can do online and tips, my experiences with them and that sort of thing, and also the exact websites and URLs you can go to purchase wholesale goods, especially if you don't yet have a business tax ID. But actually, I realized I didn't even introduce myself. Hi guys, I'm Aurelia, otherwise known as martziechic, and I am a fashion reseller. This video is going to be primarily focused towards fashion resellers, but also for anyone else, and no matter what niche you are in, I feel like this video will be really good for you to help understand how to online source, whether that be in hard goods or otherwise. I think this will be a great video for you to watch. So I have been a reseller for over 3 years here, and I actually just went full-time over the summer. I make a ton of videos like this here on YouTube. So if you guys are interested in more content just like this, be sure to hit the little subscribe button down below and tap the notification bell right next to it to be notified every single time I post a new video. Now, I'm just warning you guys, before we really get into the nitty-gritty here, this is going to be a long video. I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to be, but you know, I kind of feel like if you are really looking to go into online sourcing, this is going to be almost every single thing you can imagine or need to know about it. So for the people that this helps, please be sure to give this video a like down below to support my channel. It really does help me out and it helps boost my channel a lot. So we're gonna hop into the background, what you need to know before you start online sourcing, before we get into the exact methods. I will have timestamps down below if you guys are interested in just skipping through a few things, but I really do think that everything that I'm going to be mentioning today will be important for your foundation moving into online reselling. So if you're going to skip things, just make sure that you know what you're doing first. That is my number one tip. Do your research before you buy. I always say start off small, start off with the least amount of risk, and these are more risky things to be investing in. So, you know, start small, start with the bin, start with your local thrift stores, start with donations, start with consignment. Do those sort of things first before you hop into online sourcing, because you could be saving yourself a lot of money. Kind of the story behind how I got started with this. So when the original event, I'm just going to say the event because I don't know if YouTube is demonetizing videos that say the word, but I'll just say the event. Last year in the summer when everything had happened, I had a lot of troubles going outside and thrifting because number one, I was scared, as you should be, but number two, I also did not want to be spreading anything to other people, so I really tried to stay inside and be responsible with my health and the health of other people. So I did start online sourcing, but you know, I'm going to say that those were not my most successful moments at it because I really was just getting started with online sourcing, so I didn't exactly know what to pick up. I ended up buying on wholesale liquidation websites, so websites that sell out to Walmart or websites that sell out to eBay, searching through which ones were the best and then going onto their own wholesale websites and purchasing from them directly the brand name clothes that I wanted to flip. This was definitely more risky, and I tried applying discount codes and doing things like that just to lower my overall cost, and then I would get a bunch of these items shipped right to my door. I never talked about this before because honestly I thought it was just like my secret hidden gem, but I am going to be talking about it today because number one, it's not a huge part of my business plan anymore, but then number two, I think it's definitely risky, and that's also why I cut it out of my business plan. So if you guys feel confident about this knowledge and knowing what you're doing, I am going to be telling you about it because I feel like a lot of people don't realize how they can also do the same thing or get their hands on nice premium items. Over the past few months, I have been trying out eBay auctions, and it has been very, very successful. So one of the things that I have been looking for is going into niches that have been really, really working for me. So if that be jeans for you, or if that is shoes, whatever, I have been looking them up online on eBay auctions and then purchasing them when people don't exactly know what they're worth. So far, I've done this several times and they've almost instantly become flips for me. So I'll get something one day and flip it the next, which has been really, really profitable for me and my business. And I'm hoping to go over it a little bit more in the month's earnings or even next month's as I do it a little bit more. But I found it's really been worth my time because I might be spending, 10 minutes finding that item online, but then it just gets shipped to my door. I don't have to do any driving. I don't have to scour all of the thrift stores for just one particular item that I'm looking for, and these almost always are high flips for me. And the last reason that I really wanted to make this video, not only just to help you guys, is because I believe that everyone can participate in this. No matter what your niche is, I feel like there's definitely room for everybody to succeed with these methods, and they're already pretty competitive, so I'm not going to lie to you guys about that, but I still think that there is room for everybody to succeed with these types of things yet. So I'm going to be offering this information for free, but again, if you guys want to support my channel, give this video a thumbs up and we are going to hop into the methods and how to do them. I did just want to say that I probably will miss things. I forget things, and I'm sure you guys have more questions about online sourcing that I won't be able to answer just in this video. So if you guys want a part 2, let me know down in the comments below, or just hit me up with your questions and I'll be sure to respond. The first thing that you guys will want to ask yourselves before you start online sourcing is, 1, do you have a budget? Having a budget is so important because you can really go overboard if you are not on track and watching your money or how much you're spending versus how much you are actually earning from your initial investment. I know that I spend a certain amount per month on inventory and I expect to get a certain amount back every month. So when you're looking at that, just make sure that your budget is balanced and that you are in the green first before starting these methods. We don't want anyone going and putting themselves at financial risk just because they wanted to try out a different sourcing method. So really only do this if you have the financials to back it up first. I know that it might be hard and you might just be like, oh, well, I just need to jump into it right now. There is nothing worth reselling that is putting yourself at a financial disadvantage, and also for your family or even just yourself and your own financial standing. Reselling, it definitely isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, and it does take time. So if some of these items sit a bit longer, you have to be comfortable with your initial investment in that item and waiting on that item. Obviously, market research has a lot to do with this. So if you do research well-performing items on these platforms that you are selling on, obviously you will be more successful at this than others, but you really need to make sure that you are okay with that financial risk. The second thing that you guys should understand before you start online sourcing is, again, what I mentioned previously, understand what sells well in your niche. So whether that be, again, denim, shoes, vintage items, hard goods, something like that, you need to know what sells well for you and what is the most profitable items for you to be spending your money on before you go out and online source. So if you are a newbie reseller or if you're a hobby reseller and you're really just getting started with this and you don't know where to start, I would not recommend online sourcing. I don't think that it's for everyone, and I really think that it is the next step from being a regular reseller to a pro reseller if you are starting these methods, because again, they take a lot of risk and you really need to know what you're doing beforehand. And the last thing here before you start your online sourcing methods that you need to know, again, is related to research. So there are 2 different ways that I like to research things. I am primarily selling on Poshmark, so I do a lot of my searches on the Poshmark marketplace, but I do these one of 2 ways. One is an ISO search. So an ISO search is an in search of item posting. So a lot of people will post the brands that they are in search of under different categories, and you can find those on the platform. So this shows you what is in high demand and that people are looking for right now. The second way that I do searches on Poshmark is just by filtering through solds and then selecting a monetary category. This gives me a really good idea of what brands are selling at the most high profits. So that way when I am finding things online, I can really understand if they are a good deal or not. This is not to say that every item under every single one of those brands is a success, but as long as you're doing your research before you buy that item, I think that it will be a good find for you. The next thing that I want to talk about before going into the particular methods is talking about prices and paying up for items. This again is a reason why I don't think it is financially beneficial for beginner resellers to hop right into this, because number one, you need the financial backing, but then number two, like I said a million times over today, it is a risk. Online sourcing is more competitive than the actual stores that you're going to for thrifting. So you need to know the resale value of an item before you are buying it. So I'm just going to tell a little story time here because I think it might be helpful for you guys who are trying to understand what I mean by online sourcing and my experiences online sourcing. But recently I had a high-end thrift haul go up, and I had actually sold a Reformation dress. Once I realized that Reformation dresses were in high demand, I had scoured the eBay auction listings and I had found a few that I wanted to invest in. I won one of those auctions. So it was actually a Reformation linen Dakota dress that was a midi dress, kind of maxi if you want to think about it like that. It was a longer dress. And this was actually sold out everywhere online, and it was in a rare style. Now, this particular eBay auction did not have the style name in it, and actually really didn't even know what it was worth, but I did end up paying $52 for that dress. Now, you guys may be like, holy crap, you paid $52 for that dress? Yes, I did. So I saw the resale value of that item at least $150, and I ended up selling it pretty quickly the next day for $140, I think. So this was really a great sale for me, and I ended up making over $50 on that item the next day. So this was a pre-order. I had written it out in the description like, hey, this dress won't be available until here, and once I got the item in stock, it had already sold. So this was a great way for me to have more inventory in my closet, and also just to make $50 within 24 hours with limited work. The one that I got today is another Reformation dress, which I guess I can kind of open on camera for you guys. I'm forgetting the name of this dress in particular right now, but this is a green Reformation halter dress. I had ordered from this seller before, so I thought that it would be a good seller and reputable to buy from. But yeah, this one also did not have the style online, but it's just a green maxi halter dress from them. And when I also searched this one up, when I had found the style, it was also a rare style. So this one for the color for the holidays and for the fall, I thought would go well since it's a nice emerald green color. And also, I feel like I can make my money back really, really quickly on this item as long as I list it fairly quickly. So after this video, I'm probably going to be listing this one. Another thing that you guys should know about paying up for items is that you want to find things that are 80% off the retail value or more. So this is a general rule of thumb. Some brands are not worth as much as others in terms of resale value, but if you're finding designer brands, usually 80% off or more is the sweet spot for how much you can then resell that item for, so you won't be losing any money. But usually 80% off or more of the retail price is where you want to start at when you're trying to resell things. So if you're going into Nordstrom Rack, or if you're going into TJ's, or if you're trying to find things online, look for things that are 80% off or more, and then double check their comp values before you buy them. My last tip before we really dive in here is a safety tip. So obviously the example that I gave you guys, I think I paid $52 for that dress. I already knew the value of the dress. I already knew the style name of the dress. I took that risk knowing that risk. I would suggest for you guys not to buy from unreputable sites. So the first thing that you want to know is, if it's not a popular site that I have mentioned within this list, double check and search in Google, is so-and-so a scam? Because I've found a lot of scammy websites out there, and they will usually tell you the truth on that. So, make sure that you're not buying from a scammy website, first of all, but also make sure that you're never paying over $50 for an item, because I feel like if you're paying over $50, again, you really need to know what you're looking for, unless you're, of course, in luxury goods, which is a total different ballpark. But if you're just looking for everyday items, paying over $50 for an item seems a little steep. Double check the comps and make sure that your item actually is worth what you think it is. Alright, this is the moment you guys have been waiting for in this video. I already know it. Let's hop through these different ways of how to online source. I will be sorting through everything in terms of least risk to the most amount of risk, so I'm going to be mentioning the ones that are the easiest to start first and then the hardest ones at the end. The first way that I have found to online source is through online consignment. One way that I have been doing this is through the app Flip. You can get free inventory from them just by having consignment clients and then paying them out. My experience with Flip so far has not been the best, I will say, and I'll just kind of talk about a little story time here for you. So I did the math behind starting using Flip beforehand because I was thinking, okay, if I want to keep my head down, if I want to do more than the next person, you know, I need to start thinking about alternative ways to transform my business. So the first thought that I had was if I had someone else to help me and I sourced things through Flip and I got an average of $25 per item, this would be a great way for me to start making an extra $1,000 or something a month. There was a flaw with that. I started doing it myself and found that number one, people were sending me things that were under brands that Flip says that they don't have or they don't like allow you to send in. So that was really frustrating. But the other thing was most of these items are selling for under $10. So my average sales price this month has not been good because of all the Flip items I've been selling, and it has lowered my average sales price by a ton. So I cannot actually say that this is a great idea for you guys. If you want to try it out for yourselves, I'll gladly leave the link to Flip down below for you guys, but you know, that is just one thing that I would recommend. If you want to find consignment clients yourself, you can market yourself on Facebook or something like that. But for Flip specifically, I kind of think the rules are a little bit weird and I don't like the items that I've been getting from them, or the conditions that I've gotten them in. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. You can always try that first before you move on to the rest here. The second way that I would suggest you guys to find online inventory is through online thrifting. A lot of you guys know already about ThredUp. ThredUp is a great option if you are trying to find good deals on things that are new with tags or just really popular brands at the time because they almost always have a discount code. But the other one that you can use is the Real or a website similar to that. I think that all of these are really good. Again, they offer occasional coupons, or if you spend a certain amount with them, they'll give you points back. If you can find good deals on here, I totally would recommend it, but they do have a timer at the end of your cart. So if you don't search all of the things beforehand, they actually might leave your cart, so you need to be able to do your research really, really fast on these items just to see if they're able to sell. But if you already know the item's background, I think this is a really good way for you to get online inventory. The third way here that you can online source is actually through the marketplaces that you already sell on. This is something that I used to do in the past, and honestly I might get back into this again, but this is finding items within a brand or within a specific style that are marked way under market value and trying to bundle things within the person's closet or within their eBay store or whatever, and making sure that shipping's low to reduce your overall cost, but then buying them super cheap and flipping them for higher. So if you know the value of something and someone else doesn't, I mean, they're still getting paid what they think it is worth, and then you are going to go back in and flip it for higher what you know the marketplace is currently paying for items like that. Obviously, this person has lowered the value of the item just by listing it for lower, but I've done this myself and found that it hasn't been a problem because usually the people that are listing it for lower only have like 1 or 2 photos of the item, or the photos are really bad, or the description's bad, or there's no title or something like that. So really, they're just trying to move the item and you're just going to make a profit. You can do this on marketplaces such as Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, Tradesy, Facebook Marketplace, anything like that that you can find a good deal on. The next way that I would suggest you guys online source is through eBay auctions. Obviously, for eBay, you need an eBay account, but if you're a reseller, I think that you already should have an eBay account. If you don't, sign up for it right now. You'll thank me later, and be sure to cross-post your stuff. I have a referral code for List Perfectly if you guys want to try it out to start cross-listing your stuff from any of your other platforms to eBay, but that's besides the point. eBay is a great way to find other items to resell, and I have found a lot of success using their eBay auctions feature. So I watch list a ton of items that I think would be profitable at the time, save them, and make sure that I've looked up their resale value before the auction ends, or at least the day before the auction ends, so I know exactly what I want to bid on and what things are worth more to me than others, and then I will swoop in at the last second and buy that item or outcompete the other person. I think within the last few minutes or seconds, this is a good idea, but you need to be competitive because there's a lot of people looking at these items, and if you aren't competitive, you definitely will lose out on a lot of items on eBay auctions. So you need to be present when the auction's ending so that way you can get the item yourself. The fifth way I would suggest you guys search for online inventory is through online retail arbitrage. So this is where things start to get a bit risky, and you know, I'm gonna say this right now, this is where I have lost money in the past. A lot of people want to talk about online retail arbitrage, or the last way that I'm going to mention a lot. If you don't know what you're doing, you will lose money. Like I have previously before. I've just tried to move these items from now on because they're really oversaturated. But you know, if you know exactly what you're looking for, the styles that you're looking for, and they're in high demand, I think that you might still sell through these items. So I think I talked about this in one of my earliest videos, but I used to buy things off of stores that are closeout stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and stores like that, so that way I could flip items that are new with tags. I have added websites to this list, including bhfo.com as well as bluefly.com, and I'll leave these links down below as well for you guys. But these are actually another great place that I had found wholesale inventory that was also new with tags. BHFO I've had bad experiences with because they actually do send things that are new without tags, and even though they might say they're new with tags, sometimes they come in damaged or with a replacement tag or whatever, because they're all the returns from closeout companies. So you can search a whole list of brands on there, but just know that some of the items do come in damaged. Some of them do come with like stains or whatever, because they're usually returns or closeout items. Those are my websites that I have tried for online retail arbitrage, whether I've been unsuccessful or successful. Those are the ones I really think that you guys should know and be aware of. You can usually find the wholesale websites for closeout stores by going on Walmart and finding them really cheap designer goods on there, or like nicer brands on Walmart. For some reason they sell them there, but also I think they also sell them on eBay, and you can just search their name and see if they have their own website and start buying these things directly from the wholesaler. And this takes us into our last way of online sourcing, which you guys also have probably heard a lot about before, but that is liquidation. So liquidation is when you are buying a liquidated lot from a retail store, similar to the last few websites that I mentioned where you can pick out items. This just sends you a whole lot of items all at once that you can then sell. So the first thing that I found in my research of pallets was that you really want a manifested pallet. You do not want to buy a pallet blindly. You want to know what brands are going to be within there. Recently there was a scandal within the reseller community because one reseller was selling a whole bunch of pallets that were supposed to be like mystery bundles and things, and they ended up being crap. You know, this is not something new, and this is something that resellers face every day. You want a manifested pallet. You want to know exactly how you're going to get your money back. You don't want to break even. You don't want to lose money. You want to know exactly what's in that pallet and how well you can sell it. Pallets are mostly a long game. You're going to be sitting on items for a few months, even if you just list them right away, because of your own personal sell-through rate. Or if these brands are brands that you haven't sold before, you will be waiting on them a bit longer. For pallets specifically, you will need a business tax ID to purchase these things. That's because you're going to be spending about $1,000+ on a pallet, and they really want to make sure that you're using these items correctly. No regular reseller can just buy these off the street. You know, it does take a lot of risk. Pallets are way more of an extreme decision for you and your business. But yeah, liquidation is something that I haven't gone into. I have my own personal thoughts about it, and you know, unless I find a really good deal on liquidation lots, I will not be purchasing one, because I think in my own business model that would be a lot of risk for me to take, and a lot of risk that I don't want to make. If you guys have any more questions about finding online inventory, I absolutely would love to help you. Leave your comments down below, and don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. I make new videos weekly, and I would love to see you guys back here. Alright guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye!